You wake up every day feeling like you could accomplish more. But something invisible holds you back. It's not laziness or lack of chances, it's fear. Fear that pretends to be caution, careful planning, or the belief that you're not ready yet. And while you wait for everything to be perfect, your life passes by like sand slipping through your hands. Miyamoto Musashi, Japan's greatest samurai, said something important. A person can win against 1,000 opponents in combat but still lose to their own fear. He learned this after fighting more than 60 life-or-death battles without ever losing. Have you felt this? That stuck feeling where you know what to do but can't take the first step? Here's the hard truth. You don't need more knowledge. You need to change yourself. Japanese warrior philosophy can help you with this. Not with empty motivational talk that feels good briefly, but with sharp principles that cut through your excuses. Musashi didn't win because he was physically the strongest. He won because he conquered himself first. While others trained techniques, he trained his mind. While they wanted approval, he wanted mastery. While they feared death, he accepted it as part of his journey. Stay until the end because you'll learn 7 lessons that aren't just theory. These are sharp tools against whatever stops you from taking action. I won't promise instant happiness or overnight success. I'll show you the samurai's path: tough discipline, unwavering focus, and courage to face what most people avoid. These lessons were created in battle, where hesitation meant death and doubt was something no one could afford. What's interesting is they work today in your daily life and modern challenges with the same effectiveness. What you're about to discover might surprise you because it contradicts what society teaches. While the world offers comfort, Musashi offers confrontation. While social media encourages seeking external approval, samurai philosophy teaches building an unshakable internal foundation. You'll understand why most people live automatically, reacting to life instead of creating it, and how Japanese warriors developed a mental system so powerful it has lasted centuries and remains relevant today. Each lesson challenges your comfort zone. It's not about feeling good, it's about becoming strong. It's not about avoiding hardship, it's about using it as fuel. And most importantly, it's not about waiting until you're ready. As Musashi wrote / you will never be truly ready. Be willing / that's the first strike against your weakness. Are you prepared for the next 6? Before we continue, I need to ask you something. Answer honestly in the comments. What fear paralyzes you most right now? It could be fear of failing, being judged, not being good enough, or starting something new. Whatever it is, write it down. There's no shame because everyone watching faces some internal battle. When you put it into words, when you express what holds you back, you're already taking the first step toward freedom. Musashi said that naming the enemy is half the victory. So go ahead and comment. I read all comments, and this exchange transforms this video from simple content into a community of people who truly want to grow. Speaking of growth, if you've made it this far without liking this video, do it now. It might seem small, but it has real impact. When you like it, YouTube recognizes this content as valuable and shows it to more people who need these lessons. It's free, takes less than a second, but makes a difference in spreading the samurai message to those who really need it. Leave your like now because your participation helps this channel grow and reach more people with transformative content. If you want to continue developing your mind with content like this, subscribe now. You won't find superficial content or quick motivation that fades in 5 minutes. I bring deep principles tested over centuries that work for those willing to apply them. Every week there's a new video with powerful philosophies, mental strategies, and practical lessons you can use immediately. Click subscribe and activate the bell so you won't miss what's coming. Now let's get to what really matters. Let's explore Musashi's 7 lessons that will cut your excuses at the root, starting with the most fundamental. Lesson 1. Discipline doesn't depend on motivation. The first truth that will cut through your weakness is this: discipline has nothing to do with motivation. Nothing at all. This is probably the most dangerous lie you believe without questioning. Some days you wake up feeling invincible, ready to conquer the world, and on those days you act. But most times you wake up tired, without energy or desire. Then you wait. You wait for motivation to arrive, to feel inspired, to be in the right mood. And while you wait, life passes by. Musashi understood something most people never will. Motivation is emotion, and emotion fluctuates like ocean waves. Some days it's strong and powerful. Some days it simply vanishes. If you depend on it to act, you're building your life on unstable ground. The uncomfortable truth is that Musashi trained every single day. On good days when he was strong and confident, he trained. On bad days when he was exhausted, injured, or doubting himself, he trained even harder. Because discipline isn't about how you feel, it's about what you decide. It's a decision that doesn't negotiate with your mood, doesn't ask permission from your emotions, doesn't wait for you to be ready. Musashi fought deadly duels before feeling prepared. He didn't wait for courage to appear. He acted despite fear. He didn't wait for inspiration to knock on his door. He simply picked up his sword and trained. That's exactly why he won more than 60 fights without losing any. Not because he was always the most motivated, but because he was always the most disciplined. Now let me go deeper, because here's the connection to your modern life. You wait for willingness. You wait for the perfect mental state to start that project, go train, make the difficult call, or make an important decision. But the warrior acts without asking permission from mood. He understands that action creates motivation, not the other way around. When you act even without desire, when you do what needs doing regardless of how you feel, something powerful happens. You break the procrastination cycle and build an internal foundation no one can destroy. This is real transformation. This is the hidden truth separating those who move forward from those who stand still waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. If this lesson made sense, comment /discipline is decision /. I want to see who really understood this. Lesson 2. Face fear head-on. Don't avoid it ***. The second blade cuts even deeper, and this one will hurt. You don't have a capacity problem, you have a courage problem. The difference between these two is brutal. Musashi did something that seems crazy to the modern mind. He chose opponents stronger than himself on purpose. Not from arrogance or blind pride, but because he understood a principle most people spend their entire lives running from: fear doesn't disappear when you avoid it. It grows, multiplies, and transforms into an invisible monster that controls every decision you make without you realizing it. Every time you dodge a difficult conversation, postpone that important call, or choose the easier path because the other scares you, you're literally training your own cowardice. Think about it. How many times have you stopped doing something you knew you needed to do simply because you were afraid? Fear of failing, being rejected, looking ridiculous, not being good enough. And what happened afterward? Did the fear pass? Of course not. It stayed there, waiting, growing, gaining power over you. Japanese samurai philosophy teaches something revolutionary. Fear dissolves with exposure. Not with positive thinking, not with mirror affirmations, not with more planning. With direct action, face-to-face, eye-to-eye with what terrifies you. Musashi transformed each duel into psychological training. He didn't fight just to defeat the opponent in front of him. He fought to defeat the opponent within him. Each external victory was just the reflection of an internal battle already won. The hidden truth no one tells you is this: the person who avoids fear trains their own cowardice. Every time you back down, you send a powerful message to your brain / I'm not capable of dealing with this /. And the brain believes it. It learns. The next time something difficult appears, it gives you even more fear, more anxiety, more reasons to back down. It's a cycle that transforms people with immense potential into prisoners of their own imaginary limitations. But when you do the opposite, when you take a step toward what scares you, something magical happens. Fear loses strength. It doesn't completely disappear, but you realize you can act even with it present. That's the journey of real transformation. Comment /I choose courage /. I want to see who's really willing to face it. Before we continue with the next lessons, I need to tell you something. If what you've heard so far made sense, if you really want to apply these principles practically in your life, I've prepared supplementary material that can help you significantly on this journey. It's called The Path of Japanese Discipline a guide that goes far beyond theory. It was created to transform your ordinary mind into a disciplined, focused, and unshakable mind capable of acting every day, even when motivation fails, even when fatigue weighs heavy, and even when no one is watching. This ancestral method teaches you how to truly eliminate procrastination, how to master unstable emotions that sabotage you, and how to build that silent consistency that shapes true winners. It's not about fleeting enthusiasm that lasts 2 days, but about developing mental power that sustains permanent results. More than 1 million copies have reached people who were exactly where you are now and decided to take the next step. If it makes sense to you, check out the material in the description below. This content could be removed at any moment, so if it's useful to you, take advantage while it's still available. I might take it down in the next few days because this material is something I want to keep restricted to those who are really committed to their own transformation. Be part of this journey too. Now let's continue because we still have 5 powerful lessons ahead, and the next one will show you something Musashi did that goes against everything you learned about planning. Lesson 3. Simplicity is raw power. The third lesson will completely destroy the idea that you need more things to get more results. Musashi lived most of his life with almost nothing. He radically rejected luxury, vanity, and excess. He didn't wear elaborate clothes, didn't accumulate possessions, didn't seek status or social approval. Before you think this was poverty or limitation, understand it was pure strategy. Musashi discovered something modern society hides from you at all costs. The simpler your life, the more energy remains for what really matters. Each object you accumulate steals a piece of your attention. Each distraction you allow steals a fragment of your focus. Each unnecessary commitment steals part of your vital force. In the end, you're so busy managing the excess that nothing remains to create, to act, to conquer. Japanese samurai philosophy teaches that a clean mind generates precise action. When you eliminate noise, when you cut everything that doesn't serve, what remains is absolute clarity. Musashi didn't waste time choosing what to wear, didn't spend energy thinking about impressing others, didn't get distracted with empty conversations or purposeless entertainment. All his energy was channeled into one thing: mastery. That's exactly why he became unbeatable. While his adversaries were scattered, worried about appearances and others' opinions and 1,000 things at once, Musashi was completely present, totally focused, absolutely effective. Now let me go deeper because here's the truth no one wants to hear. You're sabotaging yourself with excess. Excess information, excess options, excess commitments, excess stimuli. You wake up and the first thing you do is check your phone, social media, news, messages, emails. Before even starting the day, your mind is already fragmented in 50 different directions. You think you're connected, but you're actually dispersed. You think you're productive, but you're actually busy with things that don't move the needle. Excess weakens focus. This isn't opinion, it's mental physics. Your attention is a finite resource, and every time you allow it to be pulled in multiple directions, you dilute your power. Real transformation begins when you understand that less is more. Cut distractions, cut excuses, cut the superfluous. What remains is raw, pure, concentrated power. Comment /less is more /. I want to see who's ready to simplify. Lesson 4. Master yourself before mastering the world. The fourth lesson is probably the most difficult because it directly attacks your ego. Musashi spent his entire life fighting external adversaries. But he knew a brutal truth: the greatest enemy was never outside. It was inside. It always was. You can win 1,000 battles out there and still be a slave to your own internal weaknesses. You can conquer success, money, and recognition, and still be defeated by anger, impatience, arrogance, and lack of control. Japanese samurai philosophy was clear on this point. Self-control is not optional, it's fundamental. Without it, you're just a time bomb waiting to explode at the most critical moment. Think about how many times you've already sabotaged yourself. How many times you reacted on impulse and regretted it later? How many times your ego spoke louder than your reason and you made a stupid decision that cost dearly? How many times you let anger, anxiety, or frustration command your actions and destroyed in minutes what took months to build? This isn't character weakness, it's lack of internal mastery. The difference between someone who achieves consistent results and someone who lives on an emotional roller coaster is exactly this. Whoever masters themselves masters circumstances. Whoever doesn't govern themselves will be governed by emotions, by impulses, by others' opinions, by external circumstances. You become a drifting boat, reacting to everything, controlling nothing. Musashi trained self-control with the same discipline he trained the sword. He understood that ego sabotages decisions. When you act from ego, you act to prove something, to impress someone, to feed an image. These are the worst possible reasons to make any important decision. Ego makes you accept challenges you should refuse. Makes you refuse opportunities out of silly pride. Makes you speak when you should be silent and be silent when you should speak. It's an internal tyrant that hijacks your rationality and puts you in unnecessary situations. Moreover, impulses break consistency. You can have all the strategy in the world, but if you don't have control over your impulses, you'll break the diet, break the workout, break the commitment, break your word. Each time you break, you weaken your own internal authority. Your brain learns that your decisions are worthless, that you don't fulfill what you promise yourself. Now let me go deeper because self-control wins invisible battles that no one sees but that determine everything. The battle against procrastination, against distraction, against discouragement, against mental laziness. These are the real wars, and you're fighting all of them every day, whether you want to or not. Comment / I govern myself / Only those who truly understood will write this. **** Lesson 5. Consistency beats talent ****. The fifth lesson will knock down another dangerous illusion you carry, the idea that talent is what separates winners from losers. Musashi wasn't the most talented samurai in Japan. He wasn't born with supernatural abilities. He didn't have noble lineage, didn't have the best masters, didn't grow up in ideal conditions. What he had was something much more powerful and much rarer: absolute consistency. While other samurai trained when inspired, Musashi trained every day. While others depended on motivation peaks, he built through small daily actions that no one saw but that accumulated silent power. The difference wasn't in the gift, it was in the relentless repetition. The hidden truth no one wants to accept is this: talent without discipline becomes frustration. You know brilliant people who never got anywhere. People with immense potential who live complaining about life. People who could be great but aren't because talent alone doesn't build anything. Talent gives you an initial advantage, but consistency gives you final victory. Musashi understood that real evolution is invisible. It doesn't happen in big moments. It happens backstage when no one is watching. When there's no audience, when there's no recognition. It happens in training even when tired, in repetition even without visible progress, in persistence even when it seems nothing is changing. Now let me go deeper because here's the connection to your journey. You've probably started several things in life: gym, personal project, new habit, new skill, and you started well with energy and excitement. But after a few weeks, when the novelty passed, when progress got slow, when no one was applauding anymore, you stopped. Then you look at those who achieved what you wanted and think, / that person has talent. I don't / that's a lie. That person had consistency. You didn't. They continued when it got difficult, when it got boring, when it became invisible. And it's exactly in those moments that real transformation happens. Not on glorious days, but on ordinary days. Not when you're inspired, but when you're exhausted and decide to act anyway. Japanese philosophy calls this kaizen, continuous improvement. Not giant leaps, but small, unstoppable steps. 1% better each day. Imperceptible in the short term, devastating in the long term. Musashi won because when others gave up, he remained. When others looked for shortcuts, he continued on the long path. When others celebrated early victories, he kept his head down and kept training. Consistency is my weapon, Leave it registered here. Lesson 6. Accept pain as part of the path. The sixth lesson is the one that bothers most because it goes against everything modern society has taught you. Musashi didn't seek comfort. He slept poorly, ate little, trained in the cold, in the heat, in the rain, in absolute discomfort. This wasn't masochism, it was preparation. He understood something you need to engrave deeply. Pain is not a sign of failure. Pain is a sign of refinement. When you feel pain in training, your muscles are being rebuilt stronger. When you feel emotional pain facing your fears, your mind is being forged more resilient. When you feel the pain of discipline, your character is being sculpted more solid. Pain is not your enemy, it's your sculptor. Every time you run from it, you're running from your best version. The truth no one wants to accept is this: comfort creates weak people. Not just physically weak, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually weak. When everything is easy, when everything is convenient, when nothing challenges you, you don't grow. You stagnate. You rot inside while life passes by. Japanese samurai philosophy embraced discomfort as a teacher. Musashi knew each difficult moment was an opportunity to become stronger, more prepared, more capable. While other warriors sought luxury and ease after victories, he kept life simple and hard because he knew the next battle was always coming. Now let me go deeper because here's the direct impact on your life. You constantly run from pain. When training gets difficult, you stop. When diet requires sacrifice, you break it. When work requires extra effort, you look for excuses. When a conversation will be uncomfortable, you avoid it. Each time you do this, you're choosing to remain weak. You're saying, I prefer temporary comfort to permanent transformation, But the problem is that life doesn't negotiate. It will put you in difficult situations whether you want it or not. When that happens, if you've spent your entire life avoiding discomfort, you'll break. You'll panic. You'll crumble. Because you didn't train for pain. You trained for escape. Musashi trained precisely for this. He deliberately put himself in extreme situations so when the real situation arrived, he would be ready. Not surprised, not scared, not unprepared, ready. That's the brutal difference between those who conquer and those who dream. Those who conquer accept that the path hurts, accept that there will be hunger, fatigue, frustration, rejection, and failure, and they walk anyway. If you run from pain, you run from your best version. Simple as that. I accept the pain of growth, I want to see who's really willing. Lesson 7. Live as if there were no second chance, The seventh and final lesson is the most powerful because it completely changes how you view each day of your life. Musashi fought as someone who had already accepted death. Each duel was treated as if it were the last. There was no room for distraction, for hesitation, for leave it for later, When you're face to face with the real possibility of death, something magical happens. You become completely present. You're not thinking about the past. You're not worried about the future. You're there in that moment with all your attention, with all your energy, with all your life concentrated in a single point. It's exactly this total presence that eliminates procrastination. When you understand you have no guarantee of tomorrow, you act today. Japanese samurai philosophy had a concept called memento mori, the constant reminder of death. It wasn't pessimism. It was brutal realism. You're going to die. I'm going to die. Everyone you know is going to die. And no one knows when. It could be 50 years from now. It could be tomorrow. This isn't a truth to depress you. It's a truth to free you. Because when you accept that the end is inevitable and unpredictable, you stop living as if you had infinite time. You stop postponing your dreams, delaying your decisions, waiting for the perfect moment that will never come. Those who accept the end live with intensity. They don't waste days on things that don't matter. Don't spend energy with people who don't add value. Don't postpone what really matters out of fear or complacency. Now let me go deeper because here's the harshest revelation. You're living as if you were immortal. You act as if you had decades ahead guaranteed. You leave for Monday what you should do today. You postpone that important conversation, that project, that necessary change, that courageous decision. Meanwhile, days pass, weeks become months, months become years. When you look back, you realize you spent your entire life waiting to start really living. Musashi didn't make this mistake. Each day was lived with urgency, with purpose, with maximum intensity. Not because he was anxious, but because he was awake to reality. Urgency creates presence. When you act with healthy urgency, you're not rushed or desperate. You're simply aware that this moment is all you have. And this changes everything. It changes how you work, how you love, how you speak, how you choose. You stop saving your best clothes for special occasions and understand that today is the special occasion. You stop saving your energy for later and give everything now. Comment / today is my chance / leave this mark here. **** the warrior's path ***. Now that you know the 7 lessons, I need to tell you something essential about what Musashi really left for the world. He didn't leave secret techniques. He didn't leave magic formulas. He didn't leave shortcuts. Miyamoto Musashi left a path. This path isn't about becoming a literal samurai. It's about becoming the strongest, most disciplined, most complete version of yourself. Japanese philosophy calls this ***, the way. It's not a destination you reach and finish. It's a continuous, daily, relentless journey. It's waking up every day and choosing to be better than yesterday. It's facing what scares you instead of avoiding it. It's cutting excess and living with simplicity. It's mastering your impulses before trying to master anything external. It's continuing when everyone else stopped. It's accepting that growth hurts. It's living as if each day mattered, because it does. Discipline isn't rigidity. It's not about being hard, inflexible, or insensitive. It's about respect for your own potential. It's about looking in the mirror and knowing you have the capacity for much more than you're delivering now. It's about honoring the person you can become instead of betraying them every day with mediocre choices. When you live with discipline, you're not punishing yourself, you're freeing yourself. Freeing yourself from regret, from frustration, from the feeling of wasting your life. Each disciplined decision is a vote of confidence in yourself. It's a silent construction of an internal foundation no one can tear down. Now let me go deeper, because here's the choice you have to make right now, in this exact moment. Either you follow this path or you spend your entire life negotiating with your own weakness. Negotiating with laziness, with fear, with excuses, with comfort. Every negotiation is a small defeat, imperceptible in daily life, devastating in the long term. Because each time you negotiate, you teach your brain that you're not trustworthy, that your decisions are flexible, that your commitments are optional. Gradually, you become someone who doesn't trust themselves, someone who knows they'll give up when it gets difficult, someone who always has a ready excuse, a well-crafted justification for not doing what needs to be done. Musashi didn't negotiate. Daily action, facing fear, simplicity, self-mastery, consistency, acceptance of pain, urgency of living, these weren't beautiful concepts for him. They were non-negotiable behaviors. That's exactly why he became legend. Not for physical strength, but for strength of character. Comment / I choose the path / Only those who truly understood will write. Now the choice is yours. You can close this video, return to normal life, and tomorrow be exactly in the same place you are today. Or you can decide that something changed here, that you heard something that resonated deeply and that you're willing to apply. If you made it to the end, I know you're not the average person who gives up halfway. You have something different. That's why I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel now. Here you'll find content like this every week. Deep philosophies, practical lessons, principles that really work for those willing to leave the comfort zone and walk the path of real growth. If this video made sense to you, if you felt these lessons touched something true, leave a comment saying / I follow the warrior's path / I want to know how many people really understood the message and are willing to apply it. And of course, if you still haven't left a like, do it now. This simple gesture helps the video reach more people who also need to hear this. It's literally free and makes all the difference. There's a video on the side that perfectly complements this subject, deepening even more these principles of Japanese philosophy. Click and continue with me there because the journey is just beginning. See you in the next video. Until next time.